Or if not, I'll just... We gotta come up with a good intro.
Alright, we're back.
And we're back!
In the pod.
New pod. In the pod. Jory. Chris.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy.
Trying to figure out something. Anyways, what do you want to talk about now?
No, we don't gotta talk about shit. Let's just talk about what we were. You didn't even finish. You're telling me your recipe to the turkey. Cause here's the thing, man. I'm having trouble cutting weight, and I talked to 5 different guys. You get 5 different philosophies. So right now, I'm just gonna start meal prepping and taking food to the gym with me. I think that's gonna help me. And just eating every 2 or 3 hours. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because there's a big gap from when I eat and go to the gym, and I leave. There's like 4 hours that I don't have anything in my system.
Right.
So I'm on a 4 or 5 hours. So
have you tried getting on to like one of those online food programs?
No.
Like, because they have free or like meal tracker things. Not
I got a meal tracker. Yeah.
Like on somebody's, or are you writing it down yourself in a fucking journal, or what?
It's called MyFitnessPal on your thing. You just log it. You can even scan barcodes. And I just maybe an hour ago bought a scale for my kitchen so I can weigh out all my food and start prepping. Going all in, baby.
Alright, that's what's up.
So when I cooked that turkey breast, you were telling me to brine it. So I think I'm gonna do that.
Well, brining basically is just it's capturing the moisture, right? Because like with any poultry, it can dry out fast. A lot of people don't understand, when it comes to cooking, they either undercook or overcook because they are unfamiliar with techniques of proper cooking. Some maybe not. Maybe they were raised in a household where their moms did a lot of cooking and spent time in the kitchen.
Well, with me, turkey's a different beast because I got my red meat, my steak down. I got that. That's pretty easy to cook when that kind of welcomes your high temperature.
Right,
but
protein.
But chicken, I just got down. That chicken's down. I've been working on that. Now my turkey, it's either dry or kind of undercooked. So. Right.
So, here's honestly, dude. If you want to cut down weight, legitimately cut down weight, cut out the red meat. Like that's huge. And if you do it, it's like a once a month kind of fucking.
I'm not eating.
Well, I'm just throwing that out there. Like, you want to cut weight legitimately, I would cut out all red meat that you possibly can, and stick to fucking chicken and fish. A lot of tuna because it's cheap. If you can get salmon's really healthy. It's got a high fatty content for protein and shit like that. So, those are going to be the best things that are going to fuel your muscles and help you lean out. Stay away from the starches. I think you've been pretty good on doing that. And if you do got to do starches, obviously brown rice is the better of all. Of anything to eat, brown rice.
Out of all the starches?
Yeah, of all the starches, brown rice is probably the best. So just from what I learned in my little brief stint in culinary school.
Let's get back to the turkey.
When I
was saying red meat was, I just got it down as far as cooking. Then I switched to chicken, trying to perfect that. And you can always work on your cooking. I really like cooking, but when it comes to the turkey, I'm still trying to hit it.
Right. Well, so turkeys, right? So any turkey size, whatever. Like my culinary instructor, he says the best turkeys are brined for at least 24 hours.
Okay.
It's obviously done by weight and by size and all that shit. But if you're just doing a straight breast, you can still brine it. So obviously it'll probably come frozen. So take it out of the package. Make sure there's no giblets, like the guts and shit inside the fucking turkey neck, inside the turkey, and then fucking get a bucket or a fucking ice chest, that can hold that capacity, plus your liquid. And so I personally prefer apple juice because it provides that sweet apple flavor. You know what I mean? So.
And this ain't gonna affect my weight.
No, not at all. It's just what we're doing is we're capturing the moisture in the breasts, right? We're swelling the breast, so as the breast cooks in the oven and the heat and it starts heating up, the problem is when you're cooking poultry, right? You get your chicken, it's wet, right? It's fucking gummy, it's wet, it's tissue, right? Or it's muscle, right? Okay. So what happens when you heat up muscle?
Does it just shrivel up?
Yeah, the liquid is evaporating.
Okay.
You're evaporating that moisture inside of it, right?
All right.
So when you brine it, you're adding additional moisture, right? So you're swelling the tissue with additional moisture, right? So as it starts to heat and the water starts to evaporate out of the muscles, you're able to capture a lot of moisture in it, and that's why when you're done, you'll see how it's nice and juicy. The breast will be nice and juicy. It'll be nice cooked all the way through, but it'll be nice and juicy because you added that additional moisture to it. So get a gallon of apple juice, ice, water, however many quarts of water. You want to be able to make sure it's submerged. Okay. So take your turkey. So add all the liquid that you're going to do in it. Throw in some salt, some rock salt, or not rock salt, but sea salt.
Sea salt? Okay.
Throw in some sea salt. Get that herb packet.
Just so I know. So if I got on average, about 8-pound turkey breast, how much salt would you throw in? Maybe a cup, half a cup, quarter cup.
Sure. I don't never measure by that. I would probably take about a handful.
Okay.
So about 2, good sized handfuls of salt.
Okay.
Just because that too, it's like electrolyte shocks the water and the tissue and shit like that. So.
So we got that. And
right. So
apple
take
juice,
right,
the
apple
water,
juice, salt, and then take that herb packet, that poultry packet. So should come with bay leaf, thyme, maybe even some sage. You can.
And this is all fresh leaves, right?
Not right. Yeah, this is all fresh. This isn't fucking ground powder shit or fucking dried. You want the nice fresh leaves. So take half of whatever the package is. And you can leave the sage out if you don't like this taste of sage, because sage is an acquired taste. It's very potent.
Yeah, it's all right, man. I love trying new stuff.
Okay, so take half the package, whatever your leaves are. So literally divide up half of each set of leaves, and you'll be able to tell. Thyme comes on a stick, and it's got little buds that stick out from it all along. Bay leaf is actually like a leaf. You know what I mean? A leaf shape. And sage is the other one. I can't. It kind of looks like thyme, but a little bit different.
Okay.
And they all smell different too. So take half of each set.
Yeah.
Chop up do a rough chop on the first one. Take 1 or 2 cinnamon sticks, and cut up an orange.
An orange.
A
whole orange, or just the.
You can cut up a whole orange. I would take half.
I'm just saying, not just the peel, but take an actual orange.
With the peel on it.
So peel and the fruit, though.
So yeah, take a fucking orange, cut it up in 4s.
Okay.
Okay, take half of those 4s, shove it in the fucking bird.
With all the other stuff?
With the rough chopped herbs, with the cinnamon stick.
The cinnamon stick, do I chop that up at all?
Nope, you just leave it as is. Stuff it in the bird, submerge it in water, okay? And then take the other remaining citrus, the orange, the fucking poultry packet, and just dump those into the brine itself.
Am I rough cutting the sage and stuff again?
Nope, you're just leaving it fucking whole. Throw it in there. Okay? And let it sit. So if it's 8 pounds, let it sit for 8 hours.
And can I start brining it when it's frozen?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So, because, like I said, water, anything frozen, so like the key to defrosting, like a lot of people, they take their chicken out of the freezer and they throw it on the counter and they let it defrost like that, right?
Yeah.
That's the natural way. People don't, but what they don't understand is a lot of bacteria builds up that way, right? So if you're going to defrost, the quickest way to do it and the most appropriate way to do it is you run it under cold water, or you submerge it in cold water, okay? And then the best is running cold water, because you're flushing out the bacteria and not letting it build up on your meat, and so that when you get what the fuck do you get, salmonella or botulism or whatever from poultry, when you get sick from eating shit, that a lot of that happens because people leave product out or they improperly handle it. You know what I mean? And always wash your hands. Like, that's the biggest thing people don't understand, is wash your hands with fucking warm soap and water after every time you handle anything. So if you're moving the chicken from one thing to somewhere else, and you're gonna go back and clean up your station, you know what I mean? Wash your hands, go back, clean up your station, wash your hands, go back to fucking with your turkey.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because you're not transferring all the bacteria. And then when you're done, whatever workstation, make sure you clean it down with, warm soapy water or light bleach water, some sort of, cleaning product, because again, that shit will build up, and then people will start getting sick because
you put something else on the counter,
right,
picks it up.
Exactly, anything, bread, cup, water, anything, you know what I mean?
Gotcha.
It's going to start transferring, and your hands are the biggest fucking opponents of that transfer. So,
yeah, well, your body's kind of like just a breeding ground for that. It's perfect, just a perfect breeding ground. The same
right.
as
Clean out your sink, you know what I mean? Like a lot of people, they just rinse shit off and then, really wipe, soap down your sink. Because again, you throw a cup in there, you throw a glass, you know what I mean? That shit just sits and builds up, and then, you know what I mean? You accidentally brush against it, you grab something, it falls in there, you're like, oh, I'll just eat this. No, and then you got a fucking stomach ache and shits for 3 days. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, that's the best way to eliminate that stuff.
well,
So
okay.
once you get and like I said, just put it wherever, leave it in the kitchen or put it in the refrigerator.
Yeah.
Just let it fucking sit for a minimum of 8 hours.
Okay.
Pound an hour. That's always the kind of the rule of thumb is pound an hour.
Thawing out.
For cooking, for thawing, for whatever.
All right.
Birds usually cook faster, depending on your temperature. So the higher the heat, you know what I mean, the faster it cooks. But also too, you run the risk of drying out your meat. So, and the good thing, what you're doing is, like I said, with the brining aspect, you're providing additional moisture to your food.
Okay.
So it doesn't dry out as fast, and you'll immediately see the difference. Immediately, when you cut into that chicken or that fucking turkey breast, and it's fucking oozing liquid, and it's nice white, fucking perfect, cuts, and you're like, damn, this shit's on point.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean? So do that. Like I said, brine for at least 8 hours, and then cook your bird. Following whatever.
Well, I mean, you already got us going here. How are you gonna cook this bird for me? I mean, saying if you were in my shoes, I'm gonna go home today. I'm gonna get my turkey. I'm gonna get the brine. Fall asleep while it's brining for, and then I'll probably cook it Monday morning when I get home from work. So Monday morning, I'm gonna put the sucker in, and I got, 8 to 2. I got 6 hours before Shannon leaves for work, so she can pull that sucker out for me. 6 hours. What temperature should I put it in? And how long would I cook this for? Chris is on the phone, so we're gonna have to stand by.
I don't know. Maybe that's a good question. Turkey's kind of tricky. So
well,
you can do. I don't know. You can do 4 hours. Well, it's a breast, so you don't have any bones or anything. So I'd say like 3.5 hours at 375, 400 degrees. And then if you want to cook it in a relatively swift manner, check it. You know what I mean? Check it ever so often for, its tenderness, rubberiness. Honestly, the best.
I've been using those oven bags. Is that good to use? Or
yeah, oven bags aren't bad. I don't use them a lot because again, anytime you're cooking with plastics or anything else, you got to worry about
gotcha.
the residual effects of that BP. You know what I mean?
BPAs or whatever.
Yeah, all that shit transferring over to your food. So. As natural as you can make it or cook it is the better. You know what I mean? The less you have touching your food, the better. I would honestly, bro, Google cooking 8-pound turkey breast. What's the appropriate time? Yeah. And there are a lot of chefs.
No, there's a lot of school of thought. I'm just saying, since you have more experience than I can.
I have more experience maybe than you, but I don't have more experience than a fucking chef that you can Google on fucking, you know what I mean, on the internet. So that's a good question. We'll have to look that up. I'll get back to you on that one. Give me 1 second. I'm fucking responding to somebody real quick.
Alright. And then I'm doing meal prep. I just bought my meal prep stuff, so that's what I'm going to do for my weight loss, man. It's just prep all my food, take a little ice box to the, or a little ice chest, lunch box to the gym with me, and then after my fight practice, throw in a little fuel and recovery, and then finish off the day, and then finish off another meal before I head home. All small meals. I'm just trying to figure this thing out, man. It's kind of like your body's a science experiment. And
yeah, I mean, when I was in the academy, bro, like, I ate like 6 times a day, and I lost fucking 26 pounds, I think, in the academy, in the 6 months in the academy. You know, and because that was grinding, and you know, you're eating and you're burning that energy. And
how many meals? I mean,
at lunch, you know, like meals? Literally, I would eat before. Obviously, I'd eat on the way, so I'd have like a.
Well, let me ask you this: how big were your meals on average? Like, would you say if you closed your fist, and how many portions? Like, how many fists would total that food equal out to? How many
in a day?
In each meal? No, I'm saying
each meal probably about 2.
2 fists?
Yeah, because I had, like, for instance, let's just say for my lunch, I would have, you know, some sort of greens, vegetables, carrots, whatever, celery, or a salad, you know, a good fucking, you know, 8 ounce, you know, 6 to 8 ounce portions of salad, you know, like a fucking softball size. I'd have nuts, some sort of nuts, fruit. You know, I always had fruit, so it would be oranges or fucking banana. Definitely had banana for the potassium because of all the sweating you're doing and shit.
Yeah.
I'd have a sandwich or 2, you know what I mean, that I would eat, you know, during my fucking first break or second break, and then lunchtime, you know, and then...
and you just dropped 26 pounds over what time?
Fucking over the course of the academy, so the 6 months, man. Like, fucking... I'm telling you, bro, it was nuts. 4 pant sizes, 26 pounds, bro. It was crazy. And it took me forever to gain my weight back because, you know, like I said, it was grind though. You know, like it was nonstop. You know, each break, you know, there was no sitting around and fucking twiddle your thumbs. We were fucking doing, you know, up downs and shit. Like if we had a 10-minute break, we did 10 minutes of up downs. We did 100 up downs in 10 minutes. You know what I mean? Like fucking. That's the type of shit. You know, we were running laps. We were fucking, you know, they killed us. And, you know, I can't say it was, you know, I hated it.
But you loved it. I know you, man.
Well, it was like, I hated it because I was in charge of a bunch of assholes that weren't just like, let's just do this and get it done. You know what I mean? Yeah. They like to fuck around and all that other shit. So, but at the same time, I felt good. I could feel the physical change in me, you know what I mean? The energy.
That sucks when you're trying to do something in any organization, whether it be here or like you were in the academy. When you're just around people who aren't motivated to do it, like that mindset, it makes it so much more easier. Not only easier, but when you're thriving to be like, let's do this. Let's be the best class that came through the academy. That just makes it fun. It makes it not only fun, but a sense of pride you have in what you're doing.
Yeah,
I think that's very important in anything you do.
Absolutely. Well, look at your training, man. I mean, you're you know, the interesting caveat to your scenario is that you are your one-man army, right? So yeah, you have these teams of fucking individuals who are there to support you, and you build this camaraderie because you guys all go through a similar grind or the same grind.
Yeah.
But in essence, you are your own fucking warrior. So however hard you push yourself is the results you're going to get. You know what I mean? And other people may not be as hungry as you or have that vision. They may say it, but how many of them are putting in that extra time and extra hours?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And those are the people that you'll gravitate towards, right?
Yeah.
Those are the people you'll look at and be like, fuck yeah.
And those are the guys who actually end up on the team, you know? Those are the guys, because a lot of people come in, and I was one of them. When I first walked in there, you know, I want to fight. I want to do whatever. I'm showing up once, twice a week. It took a long time, man. And it's just a mentality. And then in that room with all those guys, the thing, like you said, the camaraderie is good, but when you're not feeling good or whatever, but you're still showing up, and then, you know, one of the guys on the team is fired up, they're getting you fired up, man. We all just feed off that energy. There's just an energy in there. We all just... It's really hard to describe and break down in the moment, but, I mean, you're in there, and you're just... I mean, we're competing.
Well, absolutely. But that's what you're talking about when you said when everybody's on that mission, right?
Yeah,
when everybody is on that mission of success and they're grinding, it's cool. But then again, you know, like I said, but at the same time, you know, for as hard as they're working and grinding, you end up being your own one man. So,
for sure.
You know, Johnny might be running fucking, you know, 7 laps, but you're running 7, but you also are like, okay, I'm 7, I'm tired, I can do 1 more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm going to do 2 more. I'm going to do 5 more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because, I'm going to go faster. You know what I mean? I'm going to beat the guy ahead of me because he's leaner and he runs faster than me. So I got to push myself. You know what I mean? I'm going to beat the guy ahead of me because he's leaner and he runs faster than me. So I got to push myself harder. You know, and that's all great. But that's part of that competitiveness. But then is that guy pushing as hard as he can push, or is he going through the motions?
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's really hard to find people who aren't just going through the motions. You know what I mean? Or going through the motions as far as sustaining, or really pushing themselves to that next level. Yeah. And guys who like yourself, who are trying to push yourself to that next level, you'll see those results. You'll gravitate towards them.
You know what? And I was going. It's a mentality thing, man. That I think. I'm fascinated with anything sports psychology, anything sports. I'm always like the Brands brothers. They're coming out with a movie on Flow Wrestling. I think it's for free. They're two brothers. I think they're twins. I'm not 100%, but they're just badass wrestlers. And I would always look up videos on Tom Brands, and he was Iowa Hawkeyes coach.
Oh yeah, I remember you watching. I remember watching that guy.
So I just watch it, man, and the mentality is just, it went from going through the motions to how do I get better, you know, from I train a lot to I can't train enough, right, to now I just realize I'm a predator. You gotta have the predator mentality in training. If I'm just running by myself, I'm out on the street, I'm hitting right now I'm running 3 miles. On my 3rd mile, that is my fastest mile, and I literally hit the certain point where I know I'm going to have to run the last 0.75 or last mile. I raise my hands up like it's the last round in the cage. Like it just gives me that confidence boost, and I run as hard as I can back. I run that last mile, and it's because I know I'm tired, but I know the other guy's tired, and I'm here to kill him. You know, that's the kind of mentality I have, is I'm here to end you. I'm here to win. I'm not here to just do this. I'm not here to just fight. I'm here to win. That's what I'm going to do. And this year, man, I'm going to World Jiu-Jitsu competition in Long Beach again. I'm bringing home gold in the blue belt division. You know, I'm here to take. I heard my coach say it, and now it resonates with me. His goals are my goals. We unite, and I think that's how you become the best. Is because he said he wants all the titles. He wants everything. You know, and he doesn't say that in an egotistical way. He just says it as we're striving for greatness. That's what we're doing here. We're not just doing this. We're not just dabbling. This is what we do, and he wants all the titles. And that's kind of the mentality you take. Like, I'm here to win. There is no second thing.
Good thing I like to hear and see is that you have a great leader that inspires you. You know, if you don't have people who inspire you to seek that greatness, it's going to be hard to attain it. Absolutely. You know, and right now you have a leader in you know, John Crouch or Joe Riggs or whoever's training you. You know, that is inspiring this era of I will do this. I will succeed.
Yes.
And whether it was the win of the fight or whatever else, that's fueling this taste of blood, you know, that you have in your mouth to be greater. You know, it's awesome to see. You know, success doesn't come cheap, and it's not free. You know, you have to grind, and you know, and you're doing that, man. And
well, it's like you said, it's the leadership, and it's just little seeds you plant, and it's all the mentality. That's the point I was making. It's the mentality. You can approach it any way you like, and there's nothing against showing up and just dabbling in something to lose yourself for a few hours or whatever your hobby is. But you know, I like where I'm at mentally right now, and I like where I'm at, especially at the lab. The teammate mentality has really built me up, man. That's what really built me up. Mm-hmm. You see it in everyone's eyes. Everyone's striving for something there, and that just makes you just want to be greater. You know what I mean? And that, I don't know, I feel like I'm kind of rambling right now on it, but the fact is, you know, iron sharpens iron. I heard Luke Rockhold at the press conference after he beat Weidman. He said, it's an iron sharpens iron world right now. You can't get better being a big fish in a small pond. Mm-hmm. And, you know, he's in there with Cain Velasquez and Cormier, and he says that's what contributes. And I agree 100%, you know. I mean, that's the kind of world it is, and I believe I train with the best, and I'm very blessed to be in that kind of situation, and very blessed, and I think I've taken it for granted for the longest time, and I got to unite with these goals that everyone's on, and take it serious.
I don't know about take advantage, man. I just think you know, your background plays a lot into who you are, anyways, and where you come from, right? You know, how many people in your life really had that mentality or pushed you to be the great?
Right.
You know what I mean? How many people were out there doing the right things in the right way for the right reasons, and inspiring you to do the same thing? You know, a lot of what you are and who you are is self-taught. You know what I mean? It was seeing the errors of the ways of your father or your mother or your fucking brothers, and saying, I don't necessarily think I want to do that. You know what I mean? Like, fuck, do I really want to go to jail over some stupid shit? You know what I mean? Like, is that my life to fucking just hook up with whoever and fucking be in a miserable relationship, or be a drunk, or be a fucking, you know, drug user? And you know what I mean? Like, like you see this shit, and then, you know, and especially for you who's come from a hard background, you know, for you to survive, you know what I mean, and to come away pretty fucking unscathed, and, you know, but there were not many individuals who, if any, outside of, let's say, associates from, you know, maybe a professor or teacher or fucking school leader or somebody like that you could look at and say, this guy's got his shit together, and I kind of want to be like that.
Yeah.
You know, all of it was self-taught. You know, even your relationship, you started with Cassie, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, you know, but you knew once you had Brooke that you wanted something more, so that pushed you. Yeah. You know, and then now you said, fuck, I'm frustrated, life's fucking shitty, I don't know what I want to do with myself, but I know I want to fucking be great at something. Yeah. You know, and having the artistic creativity that you have as a person, you know, that you can't deny that. And luckily for you, you were able to fucking harness that and self-express in a manner in which you are now. And you've put a lot of energy, you put a lot of focus into that. And I think getting with Shannon and having her fucking on your team that, you know, has come from a pretty relatively fucking cush background, and, you know what I mean, and is, you know, not doing the wrong things, you know, you know, she doesn't seem to be the one that does the wrong things, but maybe not striving for extreme greatness, but you know what I mean, like somebody who's positive in a manner.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So it reinforced your positive nature, but then this go into the lab because you wanted to get in shape, or you wanted to fight or get out whatever frustrations you had, you know, opened up the inner you to now you are fucking able to see that next thing. And then, like I said, having the great leadership that you do have in those individuals, you know, Joe Riggs and John Crouch, and fucking Ben, and fucking all your one training partner and all that shit. Like, you see these guys.
Yeah, Ashley Gooch.
Yeah, Ashley Gooch, and like you see all these guys fucking hustling and grinding and fucking, and what it means to them to be great.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's in the sacrifice that they've put in to be great. You see that and you're like, fuck, now I have these people who are my role models. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're never too old to have a role model. Absolutely. The day you're too old to have a role model is the day that you stop growing.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And you have these role models, these inspirers, and fucking, and now you're taking that by storm, and you want to be that person. And you know, like I said, I was teasing you, and I don't even know if you really understood, but after your fight, when your opponent came up to you and he was just like, man, you know, great fight, like, fucking, you know, that was awesome, you did your job, and, you know, it was good working with you, and, you know, you're fucking good, you know, he was, you know, you made a fan out of him because of your work ethic, you know, you made a follower. The kid that came to the gym and got beat up that you were supposed to fight, you know, he's a follower of you now. Now you're starting to build your own network of people you inspire because you were inspired by these great individuals you work with. You know what I mean? And there's no better leader than a follower. You know what I mean? And you were a follower, now becoming a leader. Now you need to continue to lead and continue to set examples. And what you're doing, you've set yourself obtainable goals. As oxymoron as that may sound.
No,
right?
I hear
right?
you, dog. Yeah.
So you set up obtainable goals to reach. Because they may seem obtainable to the average character, but to you they're obtainable, and you will obtain them, no matter how hard it is.
Yeah.
You know? And, yeah, man. It's fucking...
Shit, thanks, man. I mean, it's really cool hearing, like, you from the outside looking in, and you being a great friend and supporter. I have nothing to say to that, man. That was great. Thank you. But it's just, when I say, when I was just taking advantage of it, I wasn't paying too much attention. You know, in the beginning, it was just like, I want to survive. It was, you know how guys, for example, I watch Navy SEAL videos of the guys going through BUDS training.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of those guys show up, they just want the title of Navy SEAL. They don't understand what it is, right?
Oh, yeah.
And that's why they all fall out. And I think that's what I was in the beginning. And then at some point, I had to make a choice. This is every day. This is all day, every day. I got to be consumed by this. Is this what I want to do?
Right. Well, I'll tell you, you know, when I decided to join the Marine Corps, I had the option of going to any service. I thought I wanted to be an Army Ranger, you know, because that was the badass of the Army, you know, go infantry, be Army Ranger, Airborne Ranger. You know, my cousin was in the Army, so... But then the guy, he kind of was a salesman in his pitch for me to join the Army. Didn't really resonate with me. Ended up running into a Marine recruiter who said, hey, you know, let me talk to you for a minute. He said, you know, what do you want to do? And I told him, I said, I want to fight. You know, we got this war going on overseas. You know, I want to contribute. I want to be important. He was like, well, what do you want to do? And I said, infantry. And he said, okay, well, you know there's plenty of jobs other than infantry, right? And I said, yeah. I said, but I want to be infantry. He said, okay. He said, well, come take the test. I took a little ASVAB, the mini ASVAB, you know, and he said, well, you can go to any of these other jobs. And then he said, well, why infantry? And I said, because why Marine Corps infantry? Why the Marines? I said, because they're the Marines. You know, they are the baddest fucking warriors that ever walked God's earth. You know what I mean? Like, you don't hear, you know, stories about 85th Airborne Infantry, you know, going in, taking body, slaying names. But when you hear the name Marines, you know, it doesn't matter if it's the Buddhist fucking admin clerk or the fucking commandant of the Marine Corps. You know, you hear Marines and it encompasses all the Marines as these badass fucking warriors. Yeah. Now there's this, but you know, for Army, you know, was the only Army infantry that you really knew were the badass warriors, and the mentality of Marines is you are the best, you are the greatest, you are elite in and of itself. You don't need a specialty title of being a fucking SEAL or a fucking Ranger or a Delta to be fucking the greatest. Being a Marine as in its own is the greatest. And people who believe in that system usually are infantry guys who go in the infantry, and they are the fiercest fighters because, you know, at the end of the day, when we look at each other, to our brothers to our right and to our left, we are fighting for each other. We are fighting for the core of God and country, you know what I mean, and our family somewhere along in between that mesh of, you know, and, you know, people feared the Marines. Why? Because we were like fucking rabid dogs on a fucking, you know, on a leash. All we wanted to do was tear shit up. And that's the worst fucking fighter, is one who just goes in there and is not afraid to die. You know, willing to chase you down. You shoot at him and he's running at you fucking screaming and hacking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
that's crazy.
You know, and I didn't understand the concept. But my point was once I went into the Marine Corps, it truly was a life-changing experience for me. Because I knew in order for me to be the best I was the best Marine I could be, I had to buy in 100% to the core values of the Marine Corps: honor, courage, commitment, and what it meant to be a Marine infantryman. Once I bought into that mentality, the game changed for me. I changed as a person, as you are changing now, because you bought into that you're buying into that mentality, you know. And it's and you know, people. I think Marcus Luttrell. You know who Marcus Luttrell is, right?
I heard the name.
The lone survivor guy.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so and he talks about Marines a lot and how fucking, like, he has a huge admiration for Marines because of what we do and how we are and shit. You know, this fool's a Navy fucking SEAL, right? And he's, you know, and you know, a lot of people say that, you know, the Marines have a false perception of who they are, but the reality is we believe in who we are.
And you're giving me goosebumps right now saying, just talking about that, you're believing in the core value. God damn, you're on one right now, and I'm so inspired. But you're talking about, I heard someone say this, I can't remember where, but they said every great warrior across history has some kind of values that they believe in, 110%.
Right.
Doesn't matter who it is.
Right.
Samurai. You know, you name it. They got something that they believe in.
And you have to. You have to believe in that. And I think for me, the reason why I've had such a hard transition out, and over the time it's gotten a lot better, but still it'll always resonate with me, my time in service, is because I believe in those values.
Right.
And it keeps me grounded. It keeps me humble. It keeps me from reverting back to an old nature of who I once was. It keeps me from lashing out when I want to lash out. You know what I mean? There's always these sets of standards, sets of expectations that monitor who I am, but at the same time help me progress in life. You know, and that's why, you know, I'm always so weary, job hoppy, and fucking wanting to find that next fire.
Yeah.
Because
the thing is with you, I had it too. Until I went to the lab. Because the thing is, and I love the people here at Communications, but the thing is, here at Communications, although it's a great job, is just no one's buying into that mentality.
Right.
I want to be part of something where everyone's buying into the mentality. We're here to fuck shit up.
Yeah.
And this is who we are. And granted, people do, you know, when we have major incidents and everyone comes together as a family, and that kind of reminds you of why you're here.
Right.
But that's why I think you as well as I had it until I found what I love, is you don't have that sense of no one really has that hardcore like I'm all in or I'm not in at all, one or the other. I don't like to be dabbling in anything.
In between.
Yeah.
Well, and that's why, you know, for this profession, I said I either have to be 100% in on law enforcement or I have to be 100% out. You know what I mean? I can't.
I'm gonna go pee. Chris, finish it up, man, because I gotta go back on the floor.
So, in conclusion,
finish that professional thing, because I'm gonna listen to this on my way home.
Honestly, I don't know what he's talking about, but basically, man, you have to be 100%. 100% in what you do, 100% in mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually connected to what you do. And it may not be a religious, spiritual, but it has to be some sort of a, you know, oneness with who you are and what you're doing. And as long as you continue that mentality, as long as you continue that belief, and you continue to push yourself beyond limits that you thought you could reach, then you'll continue to progress and be greater than anyone has ever known, greater than you ever thought you could be. You know, I felt it for 4 years of my life, and the residual effects many years after. You have it, and I'm excited to see where you take this, man. All right, that's the end of in the pod with Chris and Jory. I'll get back with you another day.